Hi guys, just thought we'd do a quick video on this new external filter. I quite like an external filter on this small Kent Marine tank because it helps the stability of the parameters. If the more water you've got, the better. You'll probably remember the disaster that was the Fluval G6 that we that packed up last year. This particular one is by All Pond Solutions from eBay. It's a 2,000 litres per hour system, and it's also got a 9-watt UV system built in, and the model is the 2000 EF Plus, and it's just £75. Now, I had read reviews on YouTube where they commented on the the poor quality of the plastic and things like that, and yeah, and they're right. The moulding's not brilliant, the plastic's a bit crappy, but you can't fault the filter in any way whatsoever. It is very quiet. I can't tell that it's whether it's on or off. And there's 4 trays in this one. This is the bigger one. I could have got a smaller one and it could have gone into the cabinet, but as I said, I wanted as much water, fluid capacity as possible. 4 trays in this one. I've thrown the bio bores away, and I've filled I think 2 of them with ceramic media. I'll probably use live rock eventually, but I wanted to get it going as soon as possible. Each tray has its own sponge filter that you can take out and wash, and just rinse in some empty tank water or RO, whatever, and just replace. The top basket, I have got a bag of carbon in it, and I've also got a bag of Roaphos in that top basket as well. The only issues really are connecting these pipes. The pipe is very stiff, and the connections a bit flimsy plastic. They're not the good quality connections that you would get on the Fluval, but it's £75, and if you know what you're doing, you can make a perfect connection very easily. And the simplest way I found was to boil a kettle of water and simply dunk the ends of the pipes in the boiling water for about 2 minutes. Very soft then, and you can easily push them over the black plastic and do up the securing nut. I'd already had the holes cut in the lid of the Kent Marine from when I had the Fluval, and I've just routed the cables, the pipework down the back and straight into the top. You can disconnect this by lifting the flap, lifting this lever up, and that seals off the 2 pipes. And there's 4 little levers here to lift up. The lid is a tight fit, so you will struggle to get that on and off, but yeah, it's worth persevering because it's a great filter for that price. And I wouldn't trust this handle as far as I could throw it, so yeah, if you're going to have to move the thing around full of water or even without, I would recommend grabbing it from the base and lifting it that way. I have used this purely to get some water movement on the top, just help with the oxygen exchange. It's helped a little bit. The Senai has shown that, just to get a bit of movement up there. We were getting a bit of a film on the top, which wasn't being broken up, but it now is, obviously. And a couple of new additions in the tank. We've got a little rock there with some bits and pieces on it there. One of these, which has got a little crab nestling in it, and up there the green mushrooms as well. Clouds as always, hiding in their pulsing xenia. Can't even see them now. Yeah, there's one. The other one's hiding in there. So yeah, that's really helped. That's given us a nice shimmering effect to the LEDs, and some good filtration. It's 20 litres, but by the time you've put all of the media into it, you're probably only adding, I don't know, maybe 10-15 litres to the tank, but that's a fairly big percentage on such a small tank, so we're quite pleased with that. Just a little tweak of the power head and the return pipe just to try and get some good flow going on, which I think we've got now. A little bit of weed that needs carefully trimming from around that tube anemone. I've just bought some very long arm cutters, so what I'll do is I'll probably just give him a little tap and make him go into the tube and then just trim off that weed that's getting entangled in its tentacles. And we'll probably film those because they're quite useful things. I've also just bought a pH and salinity dual meter from Germany, so we're going to be looking at that, setting that up on this. It's not controlling anything, it's just purely to monitor everything. I generally trust the Senai for the pH, but it does vary during the course of the month, so I thought a secondary meter might be interesting to see. Yeah. So yeah, highly recommend that filter. This particular one is the older model. There is a newer version now, which I can't remember the model number. It might be something like EFX plus, something like that, but look it up on All Pond Solutions YouTube, eBay shop, and I did actually mean to get the newer one, but mistakenly ordered the older one. The newer one apparently has some extra reliability features for marine aquariums. Can be a bit troublesome to prime, but no more so than most filters. I had the same problem with the Fluval G6. In fact, the priming button just didn't work in the end, and you had to faff around for ages before it would fire up. But this one you can just keep pressing, you'll see the water flowing through and the bubbles coming out of the other pipe into the tank, and eventually it will kick in and fire up, no problem. You can turn off the UV. There's a separate switch just in here, but I'll be running it all the time. Cable's quite long enough. I've run this round to another socket, so we've probably got 3 or 4 foot of cable there, so no issues at all. I don't think the quality of the plastic really is a consideration. It works perfectly, and it's very, very quiet. This is in our front room next to the TV and everything else, so it's got to be pretty quiet, and it certainly is. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. If you're thinking one of those, yeah, go for this one or the newer model, and I don't think you'll have any issues. So yeah, just a quickie on that, and we'll catch you later.